Hey guys, this is Rocking3 bringing another commentary Forza 5, and this video follows up the Eagle Talon discussion that I had in the last video. I was trying to show you guys the key components of changing a car, lower level car, up to a B-class car by doing an engine swap and then ultimately do an aspiration swap. And unfortunately, that Eagle Talon did not have the aspiration swap, so wasn't able to show you guys that. And overall, it just was not a very good car. So I went to the leaderboard and I found a few cars that were typically in the top 500, top 100 of a lot of the races, outside of like just a pure speed car. And this Mercedes probably could be a speed car as well. And I'll go through those here in a second. So what I want to show you, so just so you guys know right now, this car has all the handling options. It has all the tire options, all the wings. It should have the highest compound that you can put on here. So now what I'm trying to do is make it a handling car, but now I'm trying to add as much speed with the fewest PI added. And what I have found is that when you do an engine swap and or aspiration swap with it, pairing with it, you get a lot more horsepower, you get a lot more torque, but you don't gain as many PIs and go into the upper class. So I went in here and there's a few options with this Mercedes. So there's several engines, and then even with the base engine here, there's an aspiration swap. So I went to that first and I tried out this particular turbo, the single turbo, and as you can see, it doesn't really gain a whole lot. 51 horsepower, not a lot of torque, so it's not necessarily what I was aiming for. Plus I would have another 45 PI to add using just standard parts. I want to try to get as close as I can to that letter cap, that 600 points, without using extra mufflers and those type of parts, those performance parts. Now that I have it handling, now I'm just trying to make it as fast as possible and keeping a balance. So what I did is I did a test, and first of all I went to a different engine. This first engine has 138 horsepower, takes you right up to the B600 class. Now this is actually the one I'm going to be using, but as you can see, I lose my aspiration swap. And looking at this, I believe it's probably a turbo anyway. Let me go back into the engine swap here. Because if you look at my power band, this is kind of about where it was at. Actually, this is where it was at. Now you can see I have a great big jump in horsepower, even though I'm adding 109 PI there. I'm gaining a lot, but look at the torque line and look at the horsepower line. It's just way different than it was before, so I'm getting a lot more horsepower and a lot more early torque. Now the one thing that I'm playing with a little bit is the gear ratio a little bit, because as you can tell, I don't really want to go over 6,000 RPMs, 6,500 RPMs, because it really starts dropping off and I start losing all the advantages of that engine. So if I go into 7 grand and higher, it starts kind of choking it out a little bit. So what I'm trying to do is get my power band kind of between that 4,000 and the 6,000, 6,500, and that's where I'm trying to keep my shifts at. The other try that I did is I went to this engine, and this actually does have an aspiration change with it. And you can see I took it, I couldn't take this one because this was way too big of a jump. So I took this one, and you can see I'm over by 17 PI points. Now what I had to do is take away compound off the tires because I couldn't take off anything else because I wanted everything else adjustable. I could have added a little bit of weight, but I think even then I was like, it was way off. So this one got me a little bit too far up. This one I'm going to have to take to an A class if I'm going to use this setup. But right now it's just not going to work for the B. And then if you also look at the power line, you can see where I was at. You can see this is a lot lower, so I'm really not gaining anything, and I'm 17 points higher. I mean, yes, I can rev it up to, looks like 8,500 RPMs, but that's not necessarily what makes a fast car. You just have to know which one your power band is. So I went back to the first engine. Look at that power band. I took that power band. So now I have that. I don't have the aspiration change like I would like to, but I have all my handling parts on still. So everything's adjusted for it. I got all my brakes, I got all the weight, I got all the roll cage, everything that I want on there. I wasn't able to add any performance parts because once I add this, it's going to take me way too high, 629, 653. And with that engine swap, that's the only thing that you can add. So there was no additional mufflers, spark plugs, or anything like that. So I took this and I went ahead and drove it in Arrivals, and I'll go ahead and take this one out there, kind of show you guys a little bit how it does. Still getting used to it a little bit because I have to shift a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Let me see if it's this one. Yep. So as you see, I got to 126th on this track with this setup, and I'm still playing with the setup itself. So I'm trying to get the handle better, brake better. I have a little bit of sliding out in the back. As soon as I get this nailed down, I'll share all my specs with you guys as well. Right now it's kind of all over the place. I do have a lot of downforce, so I think I'm full downforce on the rears and like 7/8 of the way on the front. So I do have a lot of downforce on it. So what this is turned into is a very fast car with quite a bit of handling and braking to it, which I think is really important. And then of course this first lap is just a warm up. So since my power band is so early, like right now I feel the torque underneath. I could probably slide out the back since I'm not warmed up yet. And I'm shifting as early as 6 grand. See, I have a whole nother 1,000 to go there. And I was watching my shift and not my line. But that's okay, we're just warming up. And what's nice is with the handling, I can do a lot of these turns at almost full speed. And now with this horsepower, with this miles per hour, gains a lot. And what I even found is, not even just on the fast downhills like that, I'm going to show you this uphill. And typically you don't shift into the next gear when you're going up that hill. But believe it or not, I actually gain speed. So I should be able to take this one at almost full speed, and I had to let off there for a second because I wasn't quite on there. But watch when I get to about 124. See how slow it's going? 22, 23. Oh, it's not even going. I'm going to shift now. I shifted up. See how it started counting up again? Even though I was going uphill, I had more torque at the low RPM. So shifting again was not a problem. Alright, let's see if we can set this one up for a little speed run here. So like I said, I'm just staying right in that power band, using all my gears. Let's see how we can do here. Oh, car's still a little loose there. And now it's got too much power to that little band. That's alright. We'll take a couple laps towards this. But as you see, I'll be able to keep up with this guy. And as soon as I really get my tires warmed up, I'll be able to handle as good as him too. Those NSXs are good though. We'll see what we can do here. My car is still pushing quite a bit. So I'm still hitting good top speed. And I can actually leave this in 5th gear if I wanted to, because it still pulls. Horsepower isn't quite as high, but the torque line is still pretty high. So I really don't lose any momentum there. Let's see if I can get this turn this time. Alright, I'm just going to go and shift here, 120, and watch this thing climb. Turbo and all. That's pretty good pull for 6th gear, because if I leave that in 5th, I don't get over 124. So to gain 3 miles an hour by the time I get to the top of that hill, it's really good. And I'm going to sacrifice another lap here. Still got some tuning to do there, unfortunately. Let's see if we can get one really close to that 134 mark. There we go. Shift out to 5th and start gaining on this guy. See, I have almost as much handling. And I look down again. I'm going to leave that in 6th and see how it pulls. Pulls. I like that. I won't be quite at the advantage down here because I get the higher RPMs. My car doesn't pull as hard. and shift to fifth. Oh no, I lost the wheels a little bit. So keep in mind, this is for like what, 120th place, 100 about. And get to 119 and go and shift it again, and watch me catch this guy up the hill a little bit. Wasn't too drastic, but I am catching him. Pretty cool. I'm gonna leave us in fifth this time, just to see if we can get a. If I can get a little more dive. Yeah, that's right. If I can just get a little bit more dive from the front end. I changed the rear toe a little bit. But one more try. It'll be a dirty lap, but I'll try one more. Went ahead and shifted there into fifth. A lot of wheel spinning there, but see if I can hit this one since I don't look at my line, like look at my tack this time. That'll work. I'm gonna touch this a little bit. There we go. A little bit ahead of him this time. So earlier when I had the car going really fast, I had the higher horsepower one, but I removed some of the handling parts. I was getting highly out. I mean, I couldn't brake, I couldn't do anything. I was spinning the tires a lot. So the car was fast. I was passing a lot of people, but then I couldn't keep up with them. I could hit this line any worse every single time. I'm going to shift to 6 now. And it's already at 120. Watch the numbers climb up this hill. It just keeps climbing. 128, 129. That's a lot of speed up the hill with that aspiration change, or that engine change. I'm going to leave it in fifth, just keep it to low RPMs again. And we're going to outrun them here. Nice. It's going to be a dirty lap, but we're going to make some good numbers here. Alright, we'll try one more to see if we can get a clean one in here. Way too wide. Tires will not stop spinning with all that torque. Nice late shift. Go ahead and let this come down a little bit. There we go. If you can stay off the wall here, we'll do really good on this turn. Sorry, this is taking so many laps. I'm an okay driver. I'm just not a great driver, so it might take a couple, other people 2 or 3 laps to get down. It takes me a couple extra. So I can make this turn. Nope. Let me go ahead and shift again. Had a better one last time, but I should be able to pull up and weigh this guy a little bit. Still right with me though. See if we can do it. Won't be nearly as good as our last lap, but stay a little bit lower this time. There we go. Oh, tires spun. Oh, I'm gonna get a dirty lap anyway. I was gonna beat him, but then I got a dirty lap anyway. Alright, we'll call that good for right now. Not sure what I got there, what my best time was. I'll have to rewatch that, but it was definitely under that 134.1. I think it was in the 135.7 or 8 range. So just wanted to show you guys that the changes I think that are really critical when you get into the C class and the B class and the A class is looking for that other engine, getting a different torque line, use it to your advantage. Aspiration changes matched with certain engines are really good. I think it just depends on which kind of car you're on. I'm going to have to try some other ones. I just grabbed this one because it was a good leaderboard car, and I think we were in the top 128 with it, and I think that would probably put us right in about the top 100. And with some better driving and a little bit more tuning, I think we can get down to the top 50 maybe. Who knows? Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll catch you later.